This was handled a lot better than the manga. I love how they paced this entire episode around Rebecca's flashback and getting to see her backstory, getting to see what she went through as a child. This is something I really do like about One Piece's pacing. We all know by now, which is obvious, that One Piece adapts one chapter per episode. But you all have to agree this episode was needed. And, you know, if it wasn't for One Piece's pacing, this episode wouldn't have been as good. And that's why I enjoy it so much. Because this entire episode was focused on one of the main characters from this arc, Rebecca. And that is something I enjoyed seeing in this. It really was an emotional scene, and I had a lot more emotions welling up inside of me of this episode, just because getting to see the hardships Rebecca went through in her entire childhood. I mean, we see this little girl that has to run away from her home in the beginning, and then sees her mother shot down and die, and she's literally crying on top of her corpse like, "Get up, Kassan." I'm like, oh my god, that's so sad. It's a really sad episode. It is, because you see how this little girl, that's just a kind little girl that probably would be just like a standard girl in a country, turn out to be someone that's having to train to become a warrior. Because at the end of this episode, we see the toy soldier training her how to fight, and then we get to the position to where Rebecca is in the Colosseum. And that is sad, it really is, because you see that the toy soldier, through the course of watching over her through her childhood, for a little bit ways up, you see how he tries to watch over her like a father figure, and it's sad, it really is, because I mean, you have some scenes with romance, for instance, where Rebecca's about to get hit on, have a love note come to her, all of a sudden you see the toy soldier run up, and is like, "Hey!" and punches him and all that. It's a really funny scene, and I laughed, but you had that looming atmosphere and emotion over this entire episode, that this little girl, lost her mother, and at the same time, she's living by herself. She's wandering from place to place. She's having to live a hard life. All she has to comfort her, or a person to call family, is the toy soldier. And it's sad. It really is. And what makes it even sadder is because you see at the end of this that, you know, she's hated by everybody. Her entire country hates her because she is from the bloodline of King Ruku. And you have to feel sad for her. You really do. Overall, this episode, not much in the total arc progressed, but what really progressed was character development. That's exactly what this episode was for, and it did proper pacing on that. And I enjoy it. I enjoy it so much. And it shows you Toy Soldier's side of it. You see him holding the dead mother, and it's like, "I'm sorry, I tried to save her," and then he lays her down and all that, and you see Rebecca just, you know, pass by him when he's holding that food, and she just, you know, leans on top of her mother thinking she might still be alive. Just, it's sad. This is one thing I love about One Piece. And Oda, he knows how to make those emotional scenes. But I feel like the anime knows how to make those scenes even more emotional. And that's what I love about the anime of One Piece. And, oh yes, one thing I want to say is, what is with Oda and killing off mothers? I mean, okay, so if we go back, there's a bunch of female characters I know of that's had their mothers killed, or they've seen them die in front of them, like Nami, for instance. I mean, what is with Oda and killing off, you know, the mothers, and we get to see their dead corpses? I mean, Oda, man, Oda. Are you trying to tell me something here? Are you trying to tell me something? Overall, besides my little jokes, this episode was sad and emotional, and it was really needed. It was a needed episode, and I am glad we got it like this, and I'm glad it was paced like it was. Last episode, there was a lot of excitement and build-up, but this episode was needed for this arc to really develop more into Rebecca's character and the toy soldier. So, all in all, everybody, tell me your thoughts on this episode, and what type of person do you think the toy soldier is, because we can clearly see he's a badass. I mean, we see him, you know, fighting off humans and stuff, with his little toy gun and stuff, trying to save Rebecca. We see it demonstrated in that ending part of this episode. I mean, you see that he became like a guardian over Rebecca, and so you have to think, like, what kind of person was he? So everybody, tell me your thoughts on this episode. Did you enjoy it? What'd you feel about all those emotional scenes? And do you feel like this episode was really needed in the entire arc of Dressrosa? Let me know in the comments below. Love all of you so much. Please be safe. Chibi out.